Okay, so we are given this grid below. It has an axis of symmetry. This is this dotted line. And then they put some of the points of the parabola. It says use the graph to complete the table, which you see right here, for the given points. Notice it says to use the graph. Of course, these points can be found using a formula if the function is given. And then you have to determine the coordinates of the missing points and graph the parabola. So let's have a zoom out and have a look and see what's going on here. So this is pretty much going to be a curve that's going to come down and then it's going to go back up. Now, the thing you need to be reminded of with the parabola is the lowest point or the highest point is going to be on the axis of symmetry. So this is the lowest point. And what happens is on either side of this line, the points are going to be equally distant. So that means that I'm going to put this point right here. Oh, I didn't get it. Let's see, I got it this time. Yes. So I'm going to move this point. I'm going to put it, I went too fast. Notice it has to line up with the negative 12 on one side. That point is 1 unit away from the dotted line, so that means this point is going to be 1 unit away from the dotted line. So this point will mirror this point. Then we need a point to mirror this point here. We're going to use this one we have here. Did I get it? I did. And we're going to move it over. Notice that's going to be on this particular line. This one is 2 units away, so we're going to move it in 2 units away. So now we are starting to shape up real nice. And then we need one to line up with this point. And we're going to line that up. That has to be on the same line with the -4. This one is 3 units away from the dotted line. And so that's going to go right there. And then, of course, we need one to match up with the one that's up top. This one is 4 units away, so we need this one to be 4 units away. And that's going to be right around there. So now we have our points. We can find these values that belong in this box. And those are those values. So notice I have the 3 that matches the 3. The -4 matches the -4. The -9 matches the -9. -12, -12, and -13 is right in the middle. So we have to now complete the parabola. So you're going to use a pencil. You cannot use a ruler. If you use a ruler, you're going to lose points. So I'm going to start at this point. I'm going to go to this point here. No, that's not right. Let's try that again. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Okay. So I'm going to start at this point. Now, I'm not going to be exact. And you may not be exact, but just try to make sure get as close to it as possible. And you're going to end up getting a curve. But make sure you draw your line through each point. Okay, so now this is basically the parabola. Mine has a little funky mark at the top, but I think you get the idea of what you're trying to do. So this is our parabola. We have the points in. You have the numbers in the table. And so let's have a look at what we are called upon to see now. It says state the coordinates of the vertex. That's the lowest point here. When the curve is upside down, the vertex will be above. So you're not sure which one you're going to get. The value of the x is -1 and the value of the y is -13. Notice in between -12 and -14 is -13. If they ask you for a coordinate, if you don't put the brackets, you get no points. These brackets have to be in place to show you're using a point. You need the x value and the y value. Now this one is asking for the equation of the line of symmetry. That's this dotted line. Notice it passes through -1 on the x-axis. It passes through the number -1 on the x-axis, so x is equal to -1. Now, we get to this part here. They said, circle the letter that gives the equation of this parabola. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the coordinates of the vertex, which is -1 and -13, and I'm going to plug them in here to see which one of these is going to give me -13. Notice I'm using -1 for x for all 4 of these equations that is given. When substituting the -1 where the x is, only this one is going to produce -13. So that means the one that you want is B. Okay, so that's the equation you're looking for. And then finally, they ask you for the points of intersection where the parabola meets the line. That's this point here. Notice that's going to be 1, 2, 2.5 to go with -4. And the other one is going to be with 1 with 3. And that's what has been asked for.